It is Spurs Chisme. Hey, Rocky, are you ready for Spurs Chisme?
I'm ready as I can be, man.
He's as ready as he can be. Somebody drop the Chisme.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs chisme. Dime, por favor.
What's the Chisme, Rocky? Give it to us.
So some things happening on Spurs Twitter is, how do we mask the absence of Jakob Poeltl? Last game you saw Doug McDermott getting some minutes at center. Jock Landale didn't really get any minutes. Some other things that are happening is people are debating whether Josh Primo should be getting minutes for the team right now or should he stay in Austin. And just lastly, should we make a trade for someone just to make a push towards, going towards All-Star break? It just we don't know what direction we're taking. It's just very frustrating for fans, and I guess it's just kind of unclear where the team's heading.
Yeah, so, the Chisme, obviously, what we're getting from fans is what we do on Spurs Chisme is the fans talk, whether it should be tankathon, get those draft picks in, try for the playoffs. Primo going to Austin, where his first dunk, or his first points in Austin was a thunderous dunk. I did see that highlight. Also, the Jakob thing. We always go to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Derrick Gervin, when it comes to the Chisme. Derrick, let everybody know in San Antonio the absolute truth when it comes to this Chisme.
I'll tell you, Jakob Poeltl, I don't think he's one of the more underrated guys around the NBA. He has a high skill set. If you look at it, he's a good passer. He's very good setting screens. He's very good defensively against this pick and roll. He's just a very underrated player, and I like him a lot. Without him, and he's also a rim protector. And a lot of people around the league aren't familiar with him because, of course, they don't cover our Spurs. I'll never figure that out. But they have a bunch of nice playing young guys that are grooming, learning to play together. And as the season go on, I think they'll still be competitive. But they definitely have to have Jakob out of there because out there on the floor because he does a lot of different things. He brings a lot of different elements to the team.
So that's Jakob right there. Give me your thoughts, Rocky, on Primo here. Everyone wants cousin because Primo's Spanish for cousin.
Yeah.
Everybody wants cousin here to be on the main roster, but we're not getting him on the main roster. Is it wasted time?
It's still early in the season, but I think he should be getting those minutes. If we're gonna head towards a youth development, why not get in those minutes? We understand, we brought in a Forbes, but when Forbes is not hitting his threes, knocking down, he's a liability on the floor. If you bring in Primo, give him, some 10, 12 minutes a game, let him get his feet wet. You're going to see that slashing ability, that long length where he can guard on both ends, guard. And then he can shoot. He's developing that shot with chip. And that dunk was crazy, man. When I saw him just yam it, that just reminded me of that Russell Westbrook athleticism you saw, But I'm not saying he's Russell Westbrook, They're both different players, but they should be getting those minutes if we're going to head towards the youth. And there's no point of playing Forbes or, just any other vets right now.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see Primo, but I'm also that fan that is on the other side of the tracks here when I say I'm okay with him in Austin right now. He still has to develop. He's 18 years old. I think he's 18, right? 18 years old. So I still think the development is there. He's going to get a lot of playing time in Austin. So that gives him the skill set that he's going to need to develop to come into the NBA. But I still feel like Derrick might be thinking that his best move is to stick with the active roster and not in Austin. Is that how you're feeling, Derrick? Or do you feel like Austin would be beneficial?
I think he's ready for the NBA. I think you let him learn in the fire, and that's the kind of player that he is. He's not the average rookie we've had here. That's why they took him so young. The kid has special gifts. And I think right now it's not like the Spurs are 12-2 or whatever. So if everyone else, the other guys are learning, why not let him? Wieskamp and those guys, I could see them in the G League. But this kid here, I'm letting him learn in the fire because I'm looking at his career. Spurs probably want to keep this kid for a lot of years. And I see him as being a leader.
Yeah, you got Michael in the chat here. And also, what's up to Clint Proctor? He was on here as well. Josh Miller's in here. He's asking if he wants us to backtrack. And I'm just going to mention this real quick. He said, are we all Lions fans? And I'm thinking, yeah, we are all Lions fans. We're all Lions fans. No doubt about it, we are.
Well, I'm from Detroit, Josh, so I am. And Shemai is a Lions fan. So you got two of us in here.
Here's the thing real quick. Set the record straight. Lions are nowhere to be found right now in this season. unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, you only get one bye week in the NFL, but it seems like the Lions have been on
Every
a bye
single
week
week.
every single week. Oh, God. So Michael's also in here saying that Primo's going to get 30-plus minutes per game in Austin. And, that, I mean, that's something that you want to see a rookie get. You want to see a rookie get a lot of playing time. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I mean, you go to Austin, you get developed, you get the minutes per game, you're doing all that you can there. But then if you come to the NBA, you're playing against the best competition outside of the G League. But are you getting those kind of minutes? That's the problem that I see. It's like, do you see him, and I hate using the word waste talent, but do you waste the talent making him the 12th man on the roster?
Why does he need to be the 12th man? I want you to think about this. If Bryn Forbes is not scoring, what is he doing? He's not playing defense. So you got to look at that as well. If Derrick White plays a lot of minutes and continues to play, what happens to him? And I'm not trying to wish injuries on anyone, but he gets hurt. So why can't this young guy learn on the fly, take some of the pressure off of those guys, and he can flat out play?
He can.
He's not a G leaguer. I understand them want to get him minutes and 30 minutes, but why can't he play 15 minutes with the Spurs and learn on the fly?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, are you thinking the same thing, Rocky? Because for me, like I said, I'm on the edge of like, I love him in Austin to get the playing time, but I also want to see him with the guys on the roster. I mean, it makes sense. We're not seeing, okay, be honest, are we seeing anybody on this team guard-wise outside of DeJounte that is just making a statement that develops, like, needs all these minutes?
Didn't Primo already get a few minutes this season?
He did.
And when he got them, he played quite well, didn't he?
He's shooting 100% from the field.
I know, 3 for 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know, yeah. That's my point. I'm just saying he would only get better. He's not the average player that they have. Right now, if you look at their team, do they have anybody capable of getting 20 points?
God.
They don't have a go-to guy. You got to see what this guy has because he has a high skill set.
Can Vassell be that go-to guy?
I think he can be, but I'm hoping Pop, if they keep him in that role, because he also plays. He's Kawhi 2.0 to me, a young Kawhi.
Oh,
don't get it twisted
no.
now. When Kawhi was here, this guy reminds me a lot of Kawhi. He's not going to take a lot of bad shots, but he can score and he defends well.
Yeah.
Young Kawhi Leonard, just in a different. He doesn't whine. He plays basketball.
Yeah, and bouncing off the Vassell thing, you have Spurs Twitter saying, well, Vassell didn't get Austin minutes a lot, but like we were needing minutes at the wing position last year, so that's why. But he came in more ready than Primo. Primo's still 18. I heard that Primo doesn't even have a driver's license yet. He gets drived everywhere, man. This guy can't even drink yet. It's crazy to think, but I just think that you have to look at it at the roster as a whole. We mentioned earlier they have so many guards. You gotta look at the end of the day whether they're expendable. And it's not a bad thing. Whether you see Lonnie not getting re-signed or Derrick that's injury a lot. They're good players, nothing against them, but you got to see if you can move on for them maybe because you get Primo those minutes, man. Primo is that guy. I personally when he got drafted, I was like, who the heck is Primo, man? But after seeing him ball out, I'm biting my tongue out and I'm really hoping he goes off. I had nothing against him, but. Primo's just balling out, man.
HEB.
Rudy, I told you 2 guards needed to go. This is your first day on the show. I said 2 guards needed to go.
There you go.
Make room for Primo.
I think we're gonna have to go right now. Derrick Gervin, Surround the Beats, Rocky Guards in studio, Chris Gallo. I'm gonna go visit with him right now. Rudy Campos Jr. Sweep the League. We'll be back, guys. High school athlete of the week coming up.
You smart, man.